Listen up, you Manchester United fans. This breaking news is for you.
Changes need to be made already, though, in a short space of time.
Goodness me, yeah. And we'll, of course, get much more on this throughout the evening here on Sky Sports News.
And I think we look at Rashford, we look at Sancho, you look at Anthony. I think we might get on to Anthony a little bit. But you look at where loan signings actually work well. Look, he had no future at Manchester United. Ruben Amorim made it very clear he didn't want him part of the first team squad. Actually very different to the Anthony situation, where Anthony was included in pretty much the majority of Amorim's squads. But then he's gone on to have a really positive loan spell with Aston Villa. In particular, that second leg at Villa Park against PSG, I thought he was utterly phenomenal. That was the best of Marcus Rashford. And he shows that he's got something still to give. But he's back at Manchester United. He's got a contract, I believe it's till 2028. 200k a week he's on. Manchester United are looking to offload. So the options are really, is someone going to come in and pay £40 million, which seems to be the fee that's earmarked for Marcus Rashford, or is someone going to come in and want to loan the player and pay his 200k a week wages? That's the options he's got. But it's where...
Talk me through the mechanics of this then. How does it work? If you're someone who's interested in Rashford, do you just sit tight and wait until Manchester United are desperate to get rid, so you get the best deal? Is that how it works?
Absolutely. If you walk into Manchester United and say, we want to take Marcus Rashford, they're going to say, you've got to pay all of his wages and you've got to give us £40 million. Full stop. And that's
if you want him now.
If you want him now. In 4 weeks' time, that might change. In 6 weeks' time, that might change. 2 or 3 days before the deadline closes at the end of August, it will be a very different deal. That's why you've seen players like Jadon Sancho go from Manchester United to Chelsea, or Raheem Sterling go from Chelsea to Arsenal, where you've got Chelsea and Manchester United playing huge chunks of their wages, because actually it's better to shift 50% of the wages off the bill instead of keep paying 100% and not really have them involved. So therefore, this is where a lot of clubs will sit tight over the course of the start of this window. You see clubs like Liverpool who go into the market. They've got targeted players. This is what we want. This is where we're going to go and strengthen. And these are the players that are going to add to our squad. And for those other players that may be a little bit further down the list, they'll just go, well, let's just wait and see. There's not going to be huge numbers of clubs coming in for Marcus Rashford right now because, as James has said, £40 million, £300,000 a week, that's a tough deal to do for most clubs. So therefore, there's only a very small group of clubs that can entertain that kind of finance. So they'll just say, well, let's just wait and see. And then they'll make their move. So at the minute, there will be one price, but in 6 weeks' time or 10 weeks' time, that price will change.
And, you know, as I was mentioning, Amorim made it pretty clear he doesn't see Marcus Rashford as part of his plans moving forward. So again, clubs can go, right, let's take a step back. We've got time on this because they're going to want to offload him. They want to offload this player. We're going to try and get the best deal possible.
So it's a massive game of chicken, is what you're telling me.
Yeah.
So
always.
Anthony's back at Manchester United. Same for him, is it?
Yeah, same situation. Obviously, he got to the Europa Conference League final of Real Betis. Was starting week in, week out, was scoring, was putting on social media how much he was loving life in Spain. Away from United. And therefore, you know, he was making all of those right noises. But this is a player that Manchester United invested around £80 million in, and they're paying him handsomely as well. They are going to want to recoup as much of that as they possibly can. My information is that Manchester United are open to all types of offers for Anthony, but you know that Real Betis are not going to get anywhere close to £80 million. So therefore, is one of those back in the building for the moment, but let's see how things progress. And that's the key with a lot of these players that go back to their parent clubs. How do they get on? What does the manager see? Do they start pre-season with the right type of attitude? Do they show something in those early pre-season training sessions and games where they say, OK, this is a clean slate? And that's where it could get quite interesting for some of these players.
Yeah, be good. All right, let's take a break. Racing through this. Now, Mark yesterday was telling us Bournemouth fans